friends. Welcome to Walking with J.Beau. An almost daily walking vlog. It's getting dark earlier and earlier. It's going to be dark in a couple hours. So the route I'm walking today, a couple hours from now, it's going to be dark. It takes me about an hour and a half to an hour and 40 minutes to walk this route. Golly. This is a route that I won't be walking this winter unless there's no snow on the ground, because it's one where you have to walk on the side of the roads, no sidewalks, and if everybody would pay attention and not drive too fast, it wouldn't be a problem. But we know that's just not what people do. So anyways, for our walk. Peak foliage has just about gone by. Everything's going to be brown, like these trees over here falling off. And believe it or not, about 3 weeks from now, approximately, we usually get our first snow that sticks on grass and on the trunks of cars. Just like that, winter begins. Also tonight, a reminder for you folk, daylight saving time, where we have how it works is spring forward, fall back on the clocks. So we're going to set the clocks back. That happens tonight, technically Sunday morning at 2 a.m. So Saturday night at 2 a.m., Sunday morning 2 a.m., whatever way you look at it. So backwards an hour. So that time of year means I'm going to have to reset the stove and the microwave. Got a clock in the house that should adjust on its own. Depending on whether or not I put daylight saving time on or off on it, I don't remember. So I'll probably end up having to set that one too. So it's going to be time to check out the I'm not sure when the trial is scheduled for Tyler Robinson, when they shot Charlie Kirk, but I would imagine it's going to be coming up at some point. And watched a couple of videos on Lance and Tyler's relationship with gamers. A very strange culture, or subculture, whatever way you want to call it. And what I mean by that is people can live whatever way they wish to, you know what I mean? I don't really care too much about that. But it looked like, for what I'm gathering, it looked like to me that his roommate, furry trans person Lance, would be the one more likely to do what happened than Tyler would. I can't really explain why Tyler would do that. From everything I've read and witnesses that knew him, Tyler was pretty apolitical until recently. And very strange. That's why I'm waiting for the trial. I want to see what gets testified, how involved and what the logic was, or the thinking or lack of it. I gotta say, I'm really surprised that his roommate was not indicted as a co-conspirator. His roommate Lance, the furry trans person, was heavily involved in drinking and drugs and all kinds of stuff, and it doesn't look like Tyler was. So, but definitely had a relationship, and people that knew them, you know, said that they would like make out, and Tyler would call him my love, and also found out that Lance may have been Tyler's first romantic interaction. You know what I mean? So, don't really know what to make of that. Something obviously happened that didn't make sense. Right? So, got these low-lying black-looking clouds, sort of. Yeah, cross over here. I always hate it when I'm walking and somebody's in front of me and I'm video recording. I don't know why. And now they're turning. Some people get nervous. They keep turning around looking at you, and you can see it's a nice day. The wind has calmed down a lot from earlier, but actually when I just started walking, the wind was blowing pretty hard, so it's going to be off and on. .49 degrees. So a lot of people get wrapped up in politics. I certainly do. A lot of it has to do with morality. I think that's really what drives it with people. They're either angry with a politician because they're corrupt and they shouldn't be that way. They should be for the people and they're not. You can dislike their policies. You know, like a lot of the Democrats, I don't agree with their policies. But if they presented them differently and were willing to talk without all the vitriol and hateful, obvious lying, it would be a lot easier to deal with them mentally. And what I mean by that is putting up with their bullshit. I mean, some of them are so blatantly awful. I heard Gavin Newsom talking about Trump yesterday. Talking about how his trip to China was a complete failure and embarrassment, and none of that's true. And they seem to think that just denigrating him and bad-mouthing him, what they're doing actually is they're validating that he's the guy you have to meet. So if he was everything that Gavin Newsom was saying, he wouldn't need to say it. People would know it already. So those are the common sense things that I like to look for. Turn this around. Now physically today, I have a sore wrist, which acts up sometimes. So I'm going to try to hold this with my left hand for most of the time, even though I'm right-handed. And years ago playing ice hockey, or I remember when I was throwing around bales of fabric at a job I had, the tendon flares up. It's the one right on the top, goes to your pointy finger, and it's in the one that you use for your wrist movements. Like right there hurts when I turn it like this. So I did something to it. Flares up sometimes. So I'm gonna have to put an ace bandage on it for range day tomorrow, so I can shoot a pistol, because holding a pistol is fine, but you have to hold it tight. As soon as I squeeze, it hurts. So that ends up leading to not having your best range days accuracy-wise. But if I put an ace bandage on there, with maybe a piece of tape around it, it'll be fine. I've been through that before. I have a kind of a wrist thing held on by Velcro. It's actually made for that, but the strap goes over the thumb because you put it on like a cast. It's not going to work with shooting. So could practice left-hand shooting. Whatever. Probably won't bother me that bad. Anyway, though, you know, the thing with President Trump is he's in his second term. After midterms next year, he's going to be irrelevant, really. And the Democrats, if they get the House, they're going to spend all their time and energy investigating everybody in his cabinet. There'll be hearings, impeachments. I don't think they're just going to impeach him. I think they're going to try to impeach people in his cabinet too this time. I think they're going to go scorched earth because they don't have any candidates and we do. Would not be surprised if they try to impeach J.D. Vance, Marco Rubio, former Governor Burgum, the Energy Secretary, just to send a message that if you side with Republicans, you may enjoy it while they're in power, and that may discourage some people from siding with Republicans. So I think that may be one of their strategies. It would be terrible, but for example, if they impeached Marco Rubio and J.D. Vance, once you're impeached, You can't run for public office or hold any public office. Ever. Can't do anything in the government. You're barred from it. So that would be a way to get rid of J.D. Vance as a candidate. I'm just tossing around ideas. Obviously, the Democrats are that bad. A few years ago, we would have said, nah, they'd never do that. And they probably wouldn't. But now they feel like they're in the situation they're in because they didn't do that. So, I mean, pretty strange, right? Right now I got a bit of a headache. It's not terrible. Let me turn the camera around. More interesting things to look at than me. That I can assure you. Cool looking clouds. Part of that's almost like a rectangle. Take a walk over. See how the mountainside looks out there. So last night I watched my Halloween night tradition. I always do, or try to. The original Halloween, 1978, and also watched Night of the Living Dead. Criterion Restoration. That's one where the George Lucas Family Trust paid for most of it. Fully restored the film. Looks perfect. Beautiful. Something that film has needed for a very long time. I have versions of that film that were all grainy, recorded from film stock. Terrible sound quality. So it was all repaired. Looks beautiful. Ooh. Ooh, that looks nice up there. Look at that. It won't look as good on here as it does in person. This won't be bad either. off. Some are browns and yellows. But it's pretty nice. So I just wanted to come up here and take a look-see. All right, let's get back on our trek. Yeah, so I mean, President Trump is it's going to be done sooner than you think. About 3 years left. A little over. Three years and 3 months, something like that. He'll be president until January 20th, 2029. So I wanted to clarify on a handgun. Did a review of the Canik Rival S, and I think I called it stainless steel. It's actually not. I thought it was stainless steel. It isn't. It's actually been chromed. So it's a steel frame. It's all steel. Steel lower, steel slide. But it's definitely been chromed. It's actually called the Rival S Chrome. So you have a nitride coated version, and you have the chrome. Chrome sells for a little bit more. Look at this gizmo up ahead. It's just a leaf blower. Wow, look at that. I've never seen one of those before. I mean, when you get this many leaves, they have to be cleaned up. That's a good way to do it. Push it out in the woods or push it on the neighbor's lawn. But we have had Mother Nature do that for us because of the location that we're in. Just about every year the wind comes along and blows the leaves somewhere else. Which is good. the few remnants that are laying behind. Usually leave it there, then it snows all winter, then the ground thaws out, grass starts to grow, and then I mow it, and it mulches. Matobian Avenue. Somebody told me go to Matobian Avenue in Lewiston, and I'd be like, what? It's a dead end. Oh wow. If you can see that up there. Now that the leaves have come off the tree, you can see there's a bird nest up there, and that white crotch just above it. It's a bird's nest. Never noticed that up there before because it was covered with leaves. It's like hid. So we are on a post-Halloween walk, the day after. I want to remind you, Tuesday is voting day, so if you haven't voted yet, you have to get your ballot filled out and mailed or vote in person. Early voting has closed, which is the voting for early voting, showing up in person early voting, not absentee. Ballots have to be postmarked, I think, at midnight on voting day. I dropped mine off at the City Hall drop-off box outside. Drive up, park for a second, plop it in the box. It's right outside City Hall. It's like the city clerk's mailbox kind of thing. Whew, I got a good sweat going. We're in between weather right now. It's chilly when you start out, but then when you get your body heat up. Dressed in layers. Plus it was windy today. Right now it's not too windy. It's dying down already, which is good. I hate walking in wind. Yeah, so reason why I want to see that trial with Tyler Robinson and what led to him murdering Charlie Kirk is, from the information I have now, I really can't figure it out. He talked about politics some. I actually talk about politics more than he did. And I actually get more upset with the left than Tyler Robinson was getting with the right. So I don't know how that leads into doing what he did. I mean, that's freaking crazy. Most people just would never do anything violent, regardless of how upset they were. And some people, I don't know. It's like the opportunity presented itself and he just took it upon himself to do it. That's why I want to see the trial. I want to see how last minute that was. How much planning went into it. Did he plan that 6 months ahead of time or 6 weeks or less? I know that tour was scheduled many months in advance, like the current tour that Turning Point USA is on now, that Charlie Kirk would have been doing right now. Turning Point USA hasn't stopped. So killing him really didn't accomplish very much at all. Turning Point USA fundraised more money than they've ever raised because of it. They got more chapters than they've ever had. And for the first time now, they're doing them in high schools across the country, as well as college campuses. So, you know, it had kind of a backwards effect from the one they wanted, which is good. That's good. So there is a poison pill, okay, that's a Republican, and I'm not even sure he's a Republican, but he is definitely what you would call a white nationalist, and I don't like him because he's racist, he's a bigot, and unfortunately he's getting in the Republican Party and he's garnering support. And old Twitter banned him from Twitter. He was banned from Facebook. He was banned from a lot of other places too. And unfortunately, because of free speech, which I support, he's infiltrating the Republican Party with his anti-Jewish stuff, because a lot of Republicans don't want to fund Israel anymore. We don't want to fight any wars for anybody else, which is fine. But the difference is people like Candace Owens, and the guy I'm talking about is Nick Fuentes, okay? Nick Fuentes. He's in his 20s. He's been doing this since he was a teenager. He's got a following, and I listen to him talk. He's always condescending. He comes across as being smarter than everybody else, and there's a lot of people falling for it. And what disappoints me is Alex Jones has been going anti-Israel. Tucker Carlson has been going anti-Israel. And these are people that I liked, past tense, liked. Because it's one thing to not support war and not support paying for Israel's defense. People can have that opinion. That's not anti-Jewish. It's not hating Jews. It's not liking the Israeli government, which is, you know, people can, that's fine. Problem is, they're transcending that Rubicon into blaming the Jews for everything. Tucker Carlson lately has been blaming Jews for this, for that. It's the Jews, 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 Jews. And what bothers me about Nick Fuentes is that Tucker Carlson had him on as a guest. He didn't press him with any tough questions. He was agreeing with what he was saying. Really rubbed me the wrong way, and a lot of other Republicans as well. Now, the irony here is that the Democrats hate Jews too. It's like everybody hates the Jews. I don't understand the logic of it. I do not support that. I don't support hating anybody. I don't even hate Muslims. You know, and there's a lot of people, oh, Muslim this, Muslim that. Well, radicalized Muslims, yeah. Radicals, yeah. I didn't support abortion doctors, Christians that were radicalized, and they were assassinating abortion doctors when Obama was president. I didn't support that either. So, anyway, I think you know what I'm saying. These people are transcending not liking the Israel government into hating Jews. And I don't want to be one of those guys, okay? But Hitler was elected democratically and through a propaganda campaign and strong-arming people out of government that disagreed with the regime that was to be. They got all the German people to blame all their problems on Jews because they're an easy scapegoat, you know? And here's the problem, though. I'm seeing, and you know, I really don't want to say this, but Hitler had different political parties in this country. They had conservatives, they had liberals, they had independents, they had orthodoxy, the Orthodox Jews, they had Christians. They all hated the Jews. You even saw the Jews hate themselves. And we're seeing that now in Chicago. We're seeing it in New York. We're seeing it here in America. I saw interviews this weekend with people that were Jewish people with the locks and everything and the yarmulkes on their heads, talking about how they're going to vote for Zohran Mamdani. Who in the past has hated Israel, hated Jews, kind of changed his tune when he decided to run for mayor. But he's got all kinds of scandals coming out of the woodwork right now. He's dropped almost half of his advantage he had, poll-wise. New Yorkers may wake up and realize what they're doing before it's too late. We'll see Tuesday. But hearing these Jewish people, a lot of them, no, they're not going to vote for Mamdani. Some of them said they were going to. And that is like, these are probably the same type of Jewish people that supported the Nazi Party. And because if you do your research on that, there were a lot of Nazis that were Jewish in the beginning. They were using anybody that would help them get to power. Then after they were in power, well, tough tits, right? thanks for the help, but now you're going to the gas chamber or the ghettos to starve to death. And they did that to a lot of people. And there was a guy, probably have the name wrong, I have the last name right. His last name is Rom, R-O with the 2 dots above it, H-M. And he was gay. Homosexuality in Germany, while Hitler was ascending to power, was not as taboo as other places. And he was a Nazi. And after Hitler came into power, he was killed, put to death because he was gay. So that's the kind of thing that I'm seeing in New York, and I'm seeing it with these people like Nick Fuentes, Tucker Carlson. They're falling into that same thing where you go, how did Hitler convince an entire nation that getting rid of the Jews as a final solution to solving all their problems would be socially acceptable? And I'm seeing that happen now. And Democrats, they friggin' hate Jews. A lot of Republicans, most Republicans do not. Okay, first I want to say that. I'm not saying this is a Republicans are racist issue. What I'm saying is, when you have a party that's supported by white Christian nationals, you'd have to call them white nationals, but you have Christian nationalists. I'm a nationalist. I believe in country first, the best thing for the country, America first. Tired of paying for everybody else's wars in the world, using our money, our blood, and our treasure. And that's why Trump is pegged as a white nationalist. They threw in white to imply white supremacy. Now, nationalists are not white supremacists. Nick Fuentes is a white supremacist. And people are falling for his bullshit. And I'm just saying it's a matter of time before Nick Fuentes answers the door and somebody installs a new anus on his forehead that measures 9mm, because he's making a lot of people angry, stirring up race problems. And it really bothers me to see Tucker Carlson, of all people, supporting him by giving him a platform. Now, there's always the argument, well, Tucker Carlson interviewed Vladimir Putin. He's a journalist. He's going to interview people he doesn't necessarily agree with. Barbara Walters interviewed Vladimir Putin, for example. That's journalism. I get that. But this is Nick fucking Fuentes. Who gives a fuck about him? And when you're interviewing him, you don't sit there nodding your head agreeing with him, which is what Tucker was doing. So that's what bothered me about it. Alex Jones has been referring to MAGA lately as a cult. Sorry, I don't belong to your cult. I'm not going to kiss your ass for this and that, he was saying. And he doesn't like Israel. So, you know, a lot of these people are, well, a lot of these people are grifters. And Candace Owens, especially, she comes out with wild stuff like Netanyahu conned Trump into assassinating Charlie Kirk because Charlie Kirk was pro-Israel and saying anti-Israel stuff. Charlie Kirk was not saying anti-Jewish stuff. He was saying that what Israel is doing is getting out of hand militarily. There's a difference. President Trump said the same thing. Doesn't make them anti-Semites. For a while, Israel was going a little crazy with their bombing and killing, and I understand their logic. They have an opportunity to wipe out people that have been trying to kill them for hundreds, thousands of years, and they're going to seize on it and do it. So I understand Israel's logic, and I might be one of the few that don't disagree with it. I do, however, I don't like to see how easily they've been killing quote-unquote innocent people. And I understand war is war. I have mentioned the bombing of Dresden before. We used incendiary firebombing in World War II. We killed tens of thousands of women and children because that city was producing war materials and it had to be destroyed. And it sucks, but war sucks. You can't win a war by being nice. You can't. That's why you need to avoid it. Israel could have been doing what they're doing now many years ago, but they never did. It wasn't until they were attacked. They had to respond. This was their response. And I'm hard pressed to say that they did the wrong thing. Because they didn't, in my opinion. You know? What do you do, right? But now, you got all these people that have turned, I don't want to say turning against Israel, they have turned against Israel. And now they've turned it into a Jewish people thing rather than a Jewish government thing. And I don't like it. I don't like that at all. So, a lot of these people are grifters. Nick Fuentes sells merchandise. Candace Owens sells merchandise. Tucker Carlson sells merchandise. Alex Jones sells merchandise. There's a common theme there. The other common theme is they adjust to whatever the political winds are that are going to make them money. That's their stance they take. Then they justify it by saying, I've always said if Trump did this or that, then I wouldn't support him. So these people are grifters. It's plain and simple. Either Candace Owens is legitimately insane, which, you know, could be the case. She could be suffering mental illness, or she's pandering to a certain demographic that's buying her stuff. But I'm done with her for good because of her rhetoric. So I don't know how good a business model is. It might be fine for her in the temporary, but in the long run, I'm going to remember the stuff she said. And I'm more upset because I used to like her, and I used to like what she said when she made sense. As soon as Israel got involved with Hamas, she flipped. Now, why did she flip? Well, there have been a lot of instances where people were getting paid to hate Israel. Influencers online being paid to post negative Israel stuff all day. There are a lot of people that hate Israel and they have money. So can't really, you have to trust your own intuition, your own instincts. And some people legitimately don't like Israel, and I think a lot of these people are being paid to not like Israel. Now you got Alex Jones. They went after him for Sandy Hook, which I got to tell you, Sandy Hook happened. That was terrible. What Alex Jones did was stupid. I don't believe anything he did was libelous. He just had an opinion and expressed it. They went after him because he sold a lot of merchandise and he was using that as something to sell stuff. That's what they went after him for. Not for what he said, per se, but that he profited off it, off the grief of the families. So that's what he was sued for. And he didn't really have any rights in court. They lawfared him. What they did to him was unfair. I mean, I don't care for Alex Jones all that much these days, but what they did to him was unfair. And he helped get Trump elected in his first term, and the Democrats never forgave him for that. And the first opportunity they had to go after him, they did. And they succeeded. His lawsuit, the judge awarded the families $990-something million. It's like almost $1 billion. And then they increased that. So, I mean, they awarded almost $1 trillion to the family. Nobody's ever going to pay that. Alex Jones is never going to pay it. But what they wanted was they wanted him to default on the judgment and make it enough where any rich people, donors, wouldn't be able to bail him out, and shut him down, shut him up, silence him. So Alex Jones was worth $100 and something million with his assets, equipment, not his total, what he has in the bank, just his company, what it's valued at. So they were going to liquidate his assets to pay that. And I don't know what happened with the court stuff. I don't know what's going on with that. But eventually they're going to take all his stuff. He's finding legal loopholes to stay operating. But it's a matter of time he'll be closed. Unjustly. I don't agree with what they did at all. I wouldn't agree with that with anybody they do that to. I wouldn't agree with that if we did that to some liberal causing problems on the internet for our party. So, but the Democrats have no scruples. They don't care. So, anyway, Alex Jones has taken the opportunity, I think, to talk about court dates coming up. And if you really want to support me, go on my website in the InfoWars store and buy all my stuff. Might be your last chance. And we need the help. They're going to shut us down on this date. Then the date comes, oh, well, it's delayed to another date. So it's like he's still grifting, telling the people that do watch him that he's going to be finished soon and to try to help by buying his stuff. So I'm just saying, you know, is that right? Is it wrong? Technically he's not lying, but he's taking advantage. You know, Candace Owens, she goes on a rant about Israel and stuff, and then she will unveil some t-shirts that she has that are anti-Israel, and she's selling a lot of them. Whatever, you know. Oh, anyway, turn the camera around. Ooh, I just had a massive wrist twinge collapsing the selfie stick. Ooh, that hurt. That might be, I think that just told me how I flared it up. Yep, that hurts. I think I just figured out what I was doing to flare it up. It's my daily walks with the selfie stick. Alright. Well, I will be aware of that. repetitive motions usually cause these type of things. All right, well, the sun's going down over the hills that way in the west. I remember that from school. The sun sets in the west. Oy, oy, oy. Pretty soon that body of water back there will be icing over. If I come out this way this winter at all, it'll only be because the snow melted enough to do so. Because where I'm walking right now, there's usually snowbanks sticking out this far. So you have to walk like this over here, and you're in the road. And that's why it's dangerous. People come around the corner. There's a loose snow on the ground, and they lose control on a corner because they overreacted to seeing somebody walking in the road. Just hit 3.5 miles. You can see that water through there now. And all the leaves have come off the trees. It's just kind of like a swampy thing. It's got broken off trees sticking out of the water. It takes years for that to happen. Trees to break on their own, sitting there in the water because they died. Definitely starting to get that winter vibe. Looks like all that water level there got replenished with the rain we had. Some water out there in the woods. Somebody's got a car and a trailer there. Somebody's project. There's the moon up there. That's no moon, that's a space station. It's the Death Star. It's got a man in the moon face on it. That's camouflage. We're gonna get frizzapped. Frizzap. Smell somebody's wood stove. Smells good. Looks like old Henry finally finished mowing his field out here. Old Henry. Old Henry. He mowed his field. Now it's darker than it looks on here. It always looks a little brighter on here on the playback because of the ISO setting. That looks nice out there in the distance. You can see the sun. See a shadow line from the sun setting. And the sun is just angling over the top of it out there. I don't see the turkeys out here today. Ooh, getting chilly quick. It's getting chilly quick. Somebody pushing carriage. Hi. Baby in a carriage. She's dressed in bright lime green, which is good. The baby's all bundled up in there. You just see a little face sticking out. She's keeping baby nice and warm. Very quick. soon as the sun started going away. Just hit 4 miles. I'm at the 4-mile mark. Yabba dabba doo. Government shutdown. Day 32. Now officially the longest day in shutdown history. Two courts from 2 different states, because Democrats filed lawsuits to force the Trump administration to pay for SNAP and WIC and some other things, have said that the USDA funds are to be used and the Trump administration maintains that it was illegal for them to do that. But now that the court has ruled that, Trump has said, I want to know which other funds I can use to supplement the $8 billion needed to add on to the $5 billion to make $8 billion. Because, he said, this is going to delay everybody anyway. By the time the funds are distributed and this and that, some people are going to get their money late and they're going to have problems anyway. All caused by Democrats. So people are going to have to wait until the court says this, that, or the other thing, which won't be till Monday or whatever. And a lot of people suspect that the government shutdown is going to extend past Election Day. They want to show that they're fighting against Donald Trump, so Democrat voters support people like Mamdani running for mayor in New York. And they predicted Wednesday they're going to start looking for an off-ramp, the Democrats. And then Thursday they're going to vote to open the government. That's the source I have. Somebody that's tied in with the Senate. Makes a lot of sense. It's all politics, and you know, they want to win their elections. Election day is Tuesday, so that's all they're waiting for, because they had elections and they had the No Kings rally. I had predicted that the government was going to open during the week after the No Kings rally. I understand that, and that didn't happen. But then you figure in, okay, well, because, you know, 2025 is an off-year election. Most places in the country, they don't have a lot of big elections. It's all local stuff. But the election in New York City, and there's a couple other ones, special elections. We got the race for governor, Virginia, and also New Jersey. So I got a feeling this is all tied into those from the source I heard that knows about all this stuff. And he's tied in with the Republican Party in the Senate. Don't know the guy's name, but he's accredited. He knows what he's talking about, and he's an insider. And he says that's what's going to happen. It makes sense to me. They're going to look for an off-ramp. And what that means is you're probably going to see the 5 Democrats needed to end the shutdown, make a deal with Schumer to do that, because they do everything as the result of a deal, not because it's the right thing to do. They got to get something out of it. That's interesting. You get a pool cover on there, and the pool cover is held down by jugs of water. And if you'll notice, they didn't fill the jugs of water up all the way, because the jugs of water are going to freeze and they're going to expand inside the jugs. And if you filled them up all the way, they would bust. Isn't that clever? That's a clever cleaver. Well, anyways, kind of a cool looking sky, sort of. Dusk. Dusk. It's dusking out. The weather is dusky. Who's cooking that? Somebody is deep frying. It smells like scallops. Somebody's deep frying something. Doesn't smell like chicken. It smells like seafood. Somebody is deep frying some seafood around here. I smelled it. Smells good. Well, these trees that were all pretty are now stripped bare. They're all naked. The trees are naked. Be at 5 miles, a little bit past the end of this road. I'm going to be ending this recording before then. Well, I'm going to turn the camera around. Hope you've enjoyed walking with me today and listening to me banter while I get my exercise. This is an exercise vlog, by the way. It's not really meant to be political. It's whatever I will wish to talk about. But it is definitely a MAHA vlog. Make America healthy again. Some people don't know what MAHA means. Make America healthy again. So that's what we're doing. Whether you like it or not. Ooh, getting chilly quick. I don't like it when it's windy and breezy. That's the worst. Like right now, I'm sweaty. And it gets chilly when you're wet, you know? So the best thing to do is to keep walking. That's what I'm going to do. So anyways, my friends, click like and subscribe. Share the content. Say a prayer for Trump and the country. Say a prayer for you and your family. And God bless all of you. Thank you very much for walking with me today. And we will see you on the next one. Stay safe, everybody. Bye-bye.